North Korea's state-controlled newspaper has taken aim at the U.S., claiming it's plotting to wage war on Pyongyang. It accused Washington of staging secret military drills aimed at eventually infiltrating the North Korean capital.
The US is hatching a criminal plot to unleash a war against the DPRK and commit a crime which deserves merciless divine punishment in case the US fails in the scenario of the DPRK's unjust and brigandish denuclearization first. We cannot but take a serious note of the double-dealing attitudes of the US as it is busy staging secret drills involving man-killing special units while having a dialogue with a smile on its face.
A spokesperson for the U.S. Embassy in Seoul said he had no information about the alleged drill. Well, the article came just after a visit to Pyongyang by the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was abruptly cancelled by Donald Trump on Twitter. The president cited a lack of sufficient progress in the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. Pompeo's visit would have been the first by a high-ranking U.S. official since the historic summit between Trump and Kim Jong-un in June. Back then, both sides agreed to restart their relations, helping to bring a stable and lasting peace. They reached a consensus on the complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, while agreeing on security guarantees for North Korea. Donald Trump hailed the summit as a huge success.
Very proud of what took place today. It worked out for both of us far better than anybody even predicted. It's an honor to be with you. Tremendous success. They'll be tremendously successful. And it's my honor, and we will have a terrific relationship, I have no doubt.
Let's go live now to international affairs expert Andrew Lung. Mr. Lung, thank you for joining us on the programme to discuss this. In your opinion, how serious is this, considering it's coming from the official newspaper of the North Korean ruling party?
Well, one cannot deny that such espionage or a kind of subversive activities would be all stopped once the two countries come, to talk about it on the table. I think that this kind of clandestine activities are always there, not only between United States and North Korea, but amongst many other countries as well. That's point number one. Point number two, if you look at North Korea, they are really genuinely wants to push the country towards economic progress so as to improve the livelihood of the people and improve the legitimacy of the regime. So that's why there's all these overtures with South Korea and also voluntarily dismantling some of the installations. So that's point number two. Point number three, which is it is a possible misunderstanding on the part of the United States, that from day one, the North Korea is going to give up everything. Now, this is totally unrealistic, because how much can North Korea can trust the U.S. government from day one? So it must be a gradual process whereby the North Koreans would cut down some of their activities in exchange for some gestures, some real progress in terms of thawing of relationships between United States and North Korea, and also in terms of possibly economic relationships and investments. So both sides has got to deliver step by step. But if for Donald Trump to expect that everything will happen on day one in North Korea, in return only for a kind of undertaking, this is totally unrealistic. That's the third point. The fourth point, of course, is the autumn and the November midterm elections in the United States is coming up. So President Trump wants to appear super strong, wants to step up the rhetoric as well as pressure, so as to ward off any accusations that he's not getting a good deal, that nothing is on the table yet. So he must appear to be strong. So I think that you're going to look at the situation from these 4 points of view. The kind of intentions of the North Koreans, the impossibility of of ruling out any kind of clandestine activities, and also the unrealistic expectation that the North Koreans would give up everything on day one, and fourthly, the midterm elections coming up.
Mike Pompeo, his planned visit, it was cancelled so abruptly, wasn't it? Were you surprised by that, or do you think we can read anything into how abruptly it was cancelled via Twitter by Trump?
Well, I think that for his the secretary, defense secretary, or the Secretary of State visiting North Korea at this stage, before the midterm elections, there is nothing the Trump administration could see that they could gain. Because if there is a genuine deal, there is no need to send the Secretary of State over. If there is no genuine deal, sending the Secretary of State over is not going to solve the problem, and it's going to even drag down the credibility of the Trump administration before the midterm elections, hence the cancellation of the visit. I think this is a move to limit the kind of contain any possible damage to President Trump's credibility before the midterm elections.